recording?
I'm actually recording. I got an email saying that we need to bring in a video of our coaching.
What?
I'm going in next week for, the coach connections that they went over on orientation?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I know that the video makes it awkward, so let's pretend it's not there.
Okay.
How are things going?
Good. This week was good.
Okay.
Thankfully. So that's good.
What about this week made it good?
My kids were good.
The behaviors were better?
Yeah, they
Okay.
were.
Just relax, it's fine.
I
I know.
can't.
It's for me so that
I don't like-
we can talk about ways to become better coaches. It's not about you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think because their behaviors, but also because I think I haven't given any tests yet, so I don't know if my teaching has been effective or not. So Friday will be the determining factor because I'm going to give them a test on fractions, and we've been talking about fractions for, I guess just 1 week.
The assessments that you're giving, because I know a few weeks ago you were upset about that one
Australia.
assessment. You're right. And are these going into the report card?
Mhm.
Okay. So, we had that conversation, and how I remember feeling in the classroom is that pressure to make sure that whatever grade they end up getting on those tests are good, because the parents are going to see them. So, and we talked a little bit yesterday about your formative assessments,
Yeah.
so that you're not blindsided when you get those scores. Have you given that any thought?
Well, I created the fraction assessment on EDAMS, and then I showed it to Dana and Geyser, so we're all going to use the same one.
Mhm.
So hopefully that will, I don't know. I think that I'm teaching what I'm supposed to, and exactly how the test is, and
Yeah.
and I'm just changing the numbers. So I don't know. It was oh my goodness gracious. So
No
many
worries.
calls. Oh, this is a library. I'm not able
Okay, yeah, that's a good call. Okay, so,
I'm still not able.
is it, yeah, let's just keep going. So, what types of formative assessments are you doing as you're working through, so that you are checking to see whether or not Johnny is getting it or so-and-so is getting it? And I think now you're getting to a better point in the year too, where you probably have a better idea of this student's not going to get it as fast as this student.
Yeah.
So have you done anything in your instruction to give you more of that idea?
We do a lot of work with the whiteboards.
Okay.
And so I can see kind of where they are doing that, and then some of the things they'll do, I'll turn in, and I need to be better about it, but I'll because they turn it in, and that's one thing, but
What are they, can you give me an example?
We've done a couple of worksheet pages, just 5 questions ish, or we did Kahoot and things like that, so I can see that. But the problem is if I have them all here, sometimes it's tricky to give instruction to that one kid or those 2 kids that need it. So then I started pulling small groups.
Okay.
But I don't know.
So before, when you were disappointed with the test scores, you weren't pulling any small group based
No,
on
I
what
hadn't.
you had seen in your instructions?
Because that was the first math thing we had ever
Uh-huh.
taught, and I didn't really know. I don't know. No, I didn't.
Mhm.
So, and then I did after I saw that some of them did bad. Then I went and I pulled the small groups,
Mhm.
and then I had them do the retake. So some more of them passed with way higher scores than I thought they were going to, but I still have 6 kids that still don't know.
So you feel like you have a pretty clear indication of who's getting it and who isn't,
Yeah.
based on the worksheets?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, and just we don't do worksheets that often, but the whiteboards and the Kahoot game.
And if you're using the worksheets, I know worksheets have a really bad name, but if you're using them in small portions and to find out where your students are, there's quality in a worksheet if you're using it to
Yeah.
drive your instruction.
Well, yesterday, on Friday, they're going to take a test on fractions, and it's adding and subtracting with denominators, and it's also word problems. So yesterday we talked about word problems, and then I gave them a worksheet that had a few word problems on it, and they worked with the people next to them. And during that, I pulled the kids that I already
Perfect.
knew weren't gonna know them, and worked with.
That you already knew were gonna struggle with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so but I don't know if
That's great. And one thing I used to do is it was like second and when they were looking in the math book and they would do their work and I would check and we would spot check, okay, anybody who has gotten, 1 and 2 correct, then you're gonna move on. And I would look and see who's still struggling and who hasn't gotten those right, and I would pull those kids in the moment.
Okay.
So that's something you can do too. It doesn't have to be something like, okay, I teach a whole lesson to the whole group.
Yeah.
And then I have to wait until tomorrow to pull those students who didn't get that lesson. So, but
Okay.
it sounds like you're doing stuff that's very similar to that.
I think, but then like when they see the test, then they don't do well, so I don't know.
And
And
we
I don't
talked
like
about
that
motivation
because-
too.
yeah.
Because some of your students need that motivation.
Yeah, I just don't want like my scores to be the worst one, so.
Growth.
I know, but still.
And think about where they're starting from.
But I don't, okay,
Okay?
yeah,
All right.
we'll see on Friday.
How are we doing with the IOP and our
Oh, yeah.
picking our CSTPs? I'm gonna go ahead and stop this because it's enough.